Here we go, Chicago Bears now coming at you here on a Saturday. My name is Harrison Graham. I told you guys we'd get a practice reaction video since today is the first practice. So here we are. Lots of takeaways, news on Rome Odunze, a couple of minor injury notes. Caleb Williams, Montez Sweat as we speak just said something interesting at the podium. So lots to dive into, and we're going to do that in just a second. But first, this is why you subscribe. Whether it's the weekend, whether we're in the studios or at home, we're bringing you coverage here throughout training camp. Trying to get to 95,000 subs ASAP. Wanted to get there by the start of camp, but not quite there. Let's get there for sure before the first preseason game. So hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's start with the news that dropped before practice even began, and that is that Rome Odunze did not practice, not in the building today due to personal reasons. Who knows, right? He's expected to be back tomorrow. Doesn't sound like anything serious. It's not an injury deal. I mean, who knows? Hopefully it's not serious family-wise. Certainly our thoughts with him, whatever the situation is. But obviously a little bit of a bummer. Just took a little bit of the juice out of the hype leading into today's practice. But doesn't seem like something to be concerned about as he is expected to be back tomorrow. A couple other injury news and notes. Again, he's not injured, just personal reasons. Kiran Amegadjie on the non-football injury list. We covered that, so obviously he didn't practice. And also, who's the other way? Gerald Everett, who went on the non-football injury list. Matt Eberflus asked specifically about him. He said it was not something they were surprised about. He tweaked something during his training leading up to training camp. Day-to-day, Flus said, doesn't sound serious, so should be back soon. Obviously going to monitor that as we go here, but doesn't seem like that's a huge deal at this point in time. Now, I do want to get to a couple of interesting things. Braxton Jones and TJ Edwards limited to start camp. Both were out there, but doing things off to the side. Again, not in the serious category, but a couple more starters that aren't quite full throttle there. So certainly going to monitor that as well. Need Braxton Jones to be healthy and play well at left tackle. Obviously, TJ Edwards was this team's best linebacker last year. So certainly going to monitor that. But again, none of the injury stuff sounds significant, so that's a good way to start. Now, a couple of practice notes I want to get into. One, very light practice. The whole thing was maybe an hour, so not super extensive. Flus said he liked what he saw. He said these guys leveled up between OTAs and now. I think, that's kind of just general speak of, hey, they trained hard. They came into camp in good shape, ready to go. He was asked specifically what Caleb Williams did to level up, and he said just kind of taking more command of the operation. What does that tell me? Hit the playbook hard probably over the last 6 weeks or so, feeling more comfortable breaking the huddle and those sort of things. Now, in terms of the quality of practice Caleb Williams had, according to Mark Grody on Twitter, mostly quick, decisive passes. Again, Pat's not going on until next Saturday. Said he did misfire looking for DJ Moore on about a 15-yard pass attempt that would have been a touchdown if it were completed. So missed the throw there, I guess. But the takeaways from those with boots on the ground is not a lot to analyze from a practice standpoint. This is more of all right, let's get kind of grease the wheels a little bit. Everybody's been training away for the last 6 weeks or so. Let's get back after it. So certainly going to ease into this thing just a little bit. Also, in terms of potential week one impact stuff, the center position. Here's another note. Mark Grody tweeting this. Matt Eberflus talking about Ryan Bates a little bit as well. Let me get to the Flus part first. They asked him, hey, what are you looking for from the center position? He said, we like guys who are mobile and who are intelligent. He said Ryan Bates fits both of those. I think they like Coleman Shelton in that regard as well. Ryan Bates was with the first team offense today. So at least for practice one, he was with the ones. Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Bates, Nate Davis starting all right. Again, Braxton Jones limited, but that was the starting offensive line there today. So look, I do think this is going to be a competition at center. But it sounds like Bates is going to get the first crack at that. We know Ryan Poles has had his eye on Bates for a few years now, tried to sign him a couple of years ago, and now he's here and he has an opportunity to win a starting job as a center on this team for really the first time to be a full-time starting center. So that'll certainly be interesting as well. If you're just fired up that camp is back, that we actually have Bears on the field stuff to talk about, spam me, or actually spam Bear Down in the comments. The hype is real. The excitement is here, and I cannot wait. We will cover you guys for all of it. So let's get the Bear Downs trending in the comment section, and again, subscribe for more coverage. All right, Montez Sweat was just on the podium. Got my Twitter pulled up here, making sure I'm not missing anything. He was asked about Yannick Ngakoue because that was kind of a discussion yesterday. I can circle back to that in a second. But Montez Sweat, direct quote, I was a fan of Yannick even before I got here. So it kind of feels like a pitch, like, hey, let's get him back in the building, right? Yesterday, Ryan Poles was asked about the defensive end group, and he said they really like what they have, said they need to see what it looks like when the pads go on, which, again, isn't until next Saturday, but also acknowledged that, they're monitoring the market and are going to keep an eye on that if they look or if they think they can add a player to help that group that makes sense, then they will be open to doing so. Again, with Ngakoue, he started to play a little bit better once Sweat got here last year, had 2 of his 4 sacks in 5 games that he played with Montez Sweat before breaking his ankle. Poles did say yesterday he's been training away from the facility, rehabbing. Obviously, he's not on the team, so he can't train in the facility anymore as he is a free agent. I'm open to bringing back Ngakoue. I would prefer Emmanuel Ogbah, but if they brought back Ngakoue, I'd be fine with it. I will say this, and look, it's words at a press conference. It doesn't matter that much, but the way Ryan Poles talked about Ngakoue was very much in the past tense. Now, you could sit there and say, well, yeah, he was talking about him last year. But he kind of said, we appreciate everything that he did here. It's like, it didn't sound like someone who was really open or active in trying to bring that player back. Now, again, that could change. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it. Who knows? But it did very much feel like he's not on the top of their list. That's just kind of how I took it. So, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want Ngakoue back? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'd be cool with it. I'd rather have Ogbah, but if they brought back Yannick, I certainly wouldn't have a problem with it. And I don't have a problem with the Bears evaluating these other guys over the first couple of weeks of camp. Now, the risk with that is guys can sign at any time, so you got to keep that in mind. But we'll have to see where that goes. Also, Keenan Allen at the podium here, talking about his first practice with the Bears. Nothing life-altering. Wanted to get back to this, though, with Montez Sweat. Kevin Fishbane tweeting this out, courtesy of Sweat's presser. He said, Gervon Dexter did the conditioning test with the defensive ends. So not just the defensive tackles, the defensive ends. Quote, he definitely made a transformation. Look, there's a lot on Gervon Dexter's plate. A lot of belief from the Bears standpoint that he's ready to take that step. Say what you want about Justin Jones. They let a starting defensive tackle go in free agency and did not replace him. Not only with the backup, really, or certainly not as a starter. They are expecting Dexter to take that step up and be that starting level guy. And they need him to be based on what they currently have. They have Andrew Billings at nose guard, Gervon Dexter as the starting 3 tech right now, and Zach Pickens is your 3rd defensive tackle. It's pretty thin after that, man. You got guys like Byron Coart, a couple of other vets in there. You got the rookie undrafted kid out of Illinois, Keith Randolph Jr., who I'm intrigued with, but asking him to play a big role as a rookie is probably asking a lot, considering he's got to make the team first. So Dexter needs to be a hit, at least on some level. Now, he doesn't need to be an all-pro, which is a goal of his, which I think is a great goal to have, but can he play starting level football? That's what you're looking for if you are the Chicago Bears when it comes to Gervon Dexter. So we'll see if he's able to do that. Otherwise, pretty light day one. Kind of what you would expect. Pads aren't on. Guys are running around. Good shape. Injury stuff is minor, so that's all positive, and we go from here as we get the ball rolling here at Halas Hall. I will say this, and this was a note from yesterday. I'll just mention it here as well. The Bears' plan as of now for Caleb Williams is to play 45 to 55 snaps in the preseason over 4 games. Now, we'll see if he gets into the Hall of Fame game, the first game, which is 10 days from now, 11 days from now. I would play him in that game, even if it is just to break the huddle, hand the ball off a couple times, and do like an easy bootleg where there's no risk. Just because I think he needs to start commanding the huddle in game situations, like take advantage that you have an extra preseason game. I don't know if that's in their plans or not, but the plan is to play him 45 to 55 snaps, 25-ish throws probably. I would play him more. Snap. They always gauge it by snaps. The way I've kind of thought it is, drives and quarters. I'd play him 1 drive, maybe 2 in the Hall of Fame game. I'd play him a quarter and a half in the next game. Play him a full half in the third game, and then I'd scale it back to a quarter and a half in the final game. I would play him a decent amount. I get you're not going to play Keenan Allen that much and maybe even DJ Moore that much, but Caleb Williams needs snaps. He needs to play. So we'll see how that ends up coming together as the preseason gets going very, very soon. But, you don't want to get the regular season going, and he looks like someone who hasn't played in the NFL before. So, 50-ish snaps is a decent amount. I don't think it's a great amount. I'd try to ramp that up to 75, but it doesn't seem like they are going to do that. All right, not seeing any more notes come through here as media stuff is wrapping up at Halas Hall. My name is Harrison Graham. Thanks for tuning in here on a Saturday. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my day. Hopefully you guys do as well. Hit that sub button, like the video if you enjoyed this little Saturday at home episode, and we'll see you next time. Bear down.